Sorry, I need to turn my mic back on. That's the one thing I didn't do, right? I didn't mic back on. I was telling people that no audio. Yeah, I was saying that exact thing, that I was trying a couple of new tricks just to see how they all worked, and then in the mix of all that, didn't put up the sound, and I didn't take down my camera between the countdown and the intro video. Oh, so close to being perfect. But here we are. I'm going to be talking about, not how to run a show perfectly. We're surely not going to be talking about that. But with some new stuff, just playing around with, and it actually turns out to be pretty cool. And so we're going to be going through some advanced overlays and backgrounds to make your show more professional. Again, not starting like I started mine today, but maybe I'll redo that and show you how it actually is supposed to look. But maybe we'll do that at the end for those of you that want to stick around to see what I meant to do. And so what this is, I'm recording a training program for my live streaming using StreamYard training program. There's a basic, intermediate, and advanced. Basic, which has about 7 or 8 videos in there, something like that. Then your intermediate, which has the same number, maybe 10, and then the advanced program, which was going to have a lot more because I keep adding more. In the end, there'll probably be something like 15 videos. Each one of those, obviously, and starting with basic, is how to go through the basics of starting your own live streaming show using StreamYard. And essentially, and I've said this before, you don't have to use StreamYard. I just believe StreamYard is the best platform available right now for you to do that. But you could use OBS, you can use BeLive, Zoom, Blue Jeans. The other ones that are out there, I always forget all the names of the different ones that I've used. Whatever. But what I'm using in the training program is StreamYard to demonstrate. Most of the other platforms use very similar things like overlays, backgrounds, lower thirds, frames, intros and outros, and the sound issues and lighting issues and all that kind of stuff are all the same. And having a show flow, a character, and all those kinds of things are all the same thing. I'm going to put down that pencil before I stab myself in the eye. And so what you're seeing right now is a frame. All right. So this is a frame. All right. The frame includes getstreamyard.live. That's the URL you're going to want to go to get StreamYard. If you're not using it yet, you should. This you can start with a free version and kind of play with it just a little bit. You won't have all the bells and whistles that I currently have, where I'm able to broadcast on 8 different platforms at the same time. Right now, coming to you live, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Here's somebody on Twitch telling me I have no sound early on in the broadcast, and then here's somebody from Facebook. They're telling me I didn't have any sound earlier, but now I do. These are important. So I'm able to bring up the comments. And so actually, let me take down one of my mics. I had 2 mics open at the same time. And so again, this is called a frame. All right. This is called a frame. So I want to take that down. You're going to go to andylive.com, andylive.com, and that is the training program where you sign up. You're going to get all 3. I don't want to sell them individually right now because you can get the whole package for the price of what I'm going to price each of them individually. So right now you can get all 3 for the same price. I'm going to sell each individual program for in the next couple weeks. So while you can get all 3 for the very same price as 3 or as 1, go ahead and do that now. And I make sure and tell this on every broadcast around this right now. If you are hurt greatly by the pandemic and your funds are low, private message me and I will give you a coupon of what amount seems to make sense for you if you are struggling with trying to make ends meet, but you want to get training. You do want to do your own live show because you want to promote something or create an authority under something. Let me know and I can help you out with that too. All right, so let's take this frame and let's talk about what it is that we intended to talk about, and that is overlays and backgrounds and why they're important. So an overlay also is this frame. This is also called an overlay. So using that, or using this one, or using this one, or using this one, these are all different types of overlays that I use. This is a transparent overlay down at the bottom where my guest, Hedy Amaramati, who sometimes hosts some of the shows with me, she's sitting over there on that spot. So I would move over, her chair would be over here, and then she would be there. If I have her in 2 frames, I'm going to share my screen here really quick. If I'm going to add her to the stream, and that would be her, in the long shot that I have here, that I'm using my phone to do that. Now, you can see that. Now I'd have to change my background, and I'm going to talk about the background in a second. So let's go to black. There's a black background. So you can see now with the black background and the overlay, you can see that I have my name under me, and then Hedia, who would be the other camera, she would be underneath that one, and then I have my logo up there in the background. All right, so that is a background. So that is the overlay. I'm sorry. So that is in the overlay. So that's one way to use the overlay. Let me take that one down. So one thing, and this is the advanced portion. So that's in the intermediate program, how I created those and why you create them and when you use them, when you don't use them, all that kind of stuff. That's in the intermediate, and I talk more about it in the advanced program. Here is a little bit of an advanced overlay, and it's this one. And this is the one that is a transparent overlay that you can have at the start of the show. So if you've seen some podcasters who sometimes they have a guest that they're talking to and they're just having chit chat and they're letting people know that the show hasn't started yet, that what's happening right now is just a conversation that they're letting you in on, then you can have something like this, a transparent overlay that kind of goes over the top. So just remember, I'm going to go ahead and take this down for 1 second, and I'm going to bring back. There we go. Boom. All right. So when we're talking about the different shots, a background, the camera, your camera, and then an overlay, just think of it as sheets of paper. I thought I had sheets of paper here, but I don't. So let's say that this is your background, right? A white background. And if we were to lay it, this is your camera, which is my phone cover, right? And now that goes on top of the background. So do you see how now the phone cover covers the background? Unless it's transparent, like you can see there, right? But that would be it. And then the overlay would be my hand, which would overlay the top of that. So it's like 3 sheets of paper: background, camera, and then overlay. When you tilt it up towards the camera, that's the thing. So if I take away the overlay, now you see the camera. If I take away my camera, now you see the background. If I take and minimize the camera to one side, now you see part of the background and you see the camera. How that works? So those are the 3 layers that you have on a platform. So here in the overlay, this is going to go over the top. So this is over the top. And what I did on this one is I have my branding, right? And I tell people what's going on. The show's not started yet. It's starting soon. So right down here in starting soon, I have my branded logo. At the top, I have the URL that I want people to be aware of. Right. And again, this is just since they're doing nothing and maybe listen to us, they go, oh, look at that URL, the andyislive.com. That's really cool. Maybe I'll jot that down, or I'll go into another tab and type it in, or I'll keep it in mind. That's why I use branded URLs instead of the gobbledygook that you sometimes get with landing pages from like Kajabi or ClickFunnels or something like that. And I go to a branded URL that will lead them to a Kajabi page, which has a bunch of different words. And then at the bottom, I'm telling them something to do, which is like, share, comment, and subscribe. And they'll say, while we're waiting for the show to start, why don't I go ahead and, share. Yeah, that's right. I should share that to a couple of my friends. And they'll see it down there and they'll share. And then you'll see comment down there and they'll say, hey, dude, we don't hear your sound. Hey, you don't have your camera going on yet. So you can see this is kind of like just in the interim while people are getting started. And again, most likely I'll use this when I'm having a conversation with Hedia or somebody before the show starts, just waiting for people to join. If you get into my show, I'll talk about the what I hate most of all is when people are saying, we're going to wait here for a few minutes for people to join. And they just like stare down at their computer waiting for people to join. And they say, oh, look at Johnny's on. Hi, Johnny. All right, so we're going to wait for a few more people to join. Fred's on. Hi, Fred. Right, and they do that. That I can't stand. This at least, you don't want to keep this up forever, by the way. This is maybe 30 seconds to a minute. You have this up while, again, you're having a conversation. And then suddenly you'll go into either the countdown. The countdown goes over the overlay, so you have a 4th layer there. Or you go into your intro, which can be this one. And then while that is running, watch what happens. So while I'm running, I'm only going to do a second of this. While I'm doing the when I'm doing the intro, which is an overlay of the overlay, I'll do this. And I take away the overlay, the transparent overlay, and now I come back with the 2 cameras. So my guest would be present. And I would be present on the camera. And now I begin to talk and do the show. I could then also have an overlay up, which has the two people that are talking. I just became Hetty all of a sudden, and I'm Hetty. I can change the positions of these cameras. Let's say you make a mistake, and unlike me, which I never make mistakes, but let's just say I made a mistake, and I ended up over the wrong name. I can just click on my camera on the screen in Stream, and then take it over to the other side and drop it, and you see me switch. Now I'm in the right position. Hedia is now the further shot. I am the closer shot. And I've done that in StreamYard. You see how all that works. All right. So that is a new thing. Let me show you how I created that overlay. Let me see what the comment is first. Nice socks. Oh, you saw. Thanks, Bruce. Well, it's a good thing I have pants on. Sometimes I don't wear pants. I mean, I wear shorts. I didn't mean I don't wear. Never mind. All right. So thank you. Thank you, Bruce. All right. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to share my screen here and go full screen. And this is Canva. And you're going to need the pro account. So you're going to need the pro account because that's the only way that you can do this. And in Canva, if I, whoops, went to the wrong thing there. In Canva, if I wanted to make an overlay, you're going to go create a design, and you're going to go to custom design. You're going to go to 1280 by 720. I'm pretty sure that's it. And you're going to get your square, right? So right there, that is a blank canvas. That square at 1280 by 720 is either a white background or a transparent background. And I'll tell you about that later. All right. And so let's just say I'm going to do something very easy here. I'm going to take an element like a square. Let's take a square here, and I'm going to move it off to the left and move it off to the right and move it up to the top here, about there, and then down to the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to make a quick one. This isn't going to be like a really good looking one. All right, and then I'm going to take another triangle. I'm going to move it up here, and I'm going to move it all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and I'm going to drag it up to the top. Now, as I get it to the top and square, now you can go over out of the frame if you want to, and then match the bottom. You can do that. Or if you're like me, I just take it to the top and then I drag the bottom to where it snaps to the other part. You see that? And now, because I want the top to be the same dimensions at the bottom, what I do is I click on it, I right click, I copy, and then I just hit Command V and I paste it down there. And now I drag the other one down to the bottom. Now I might get lucky. So now you can see that it doesn't match, but now, because now I can move the blue part up to match the line, now we have the top and the bottom are the same dimension. All right, and so now if I just want to put text, I just take text, I'll just use this text and drag it up here and put, I'll put Andy as line. Okay. All right, so that's fine. I'm just going to leave it like that. You can fiddle with the size and the font and all that kind of stuff. All right. So now what am I going to do? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the blue. Right, to make this transparent. I'm not going to make the top and bottom transparent, just the middle part. And again, you're going to use all kinds of different shapes and designs. You don't need to do exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just showing you something really simple. You guys are going to be far more creative than me. I'm going to hit transparent, which is up here at the upper right-hand corner. And I'm going to hit the transparent. It's going to give me the slider. And I'm going to take that down to 50% or somewhere in that area. So there's 50%. So now you can see that it's 50% in transparency. All right. So transparency. All right. I'm going to come back. So do you see that? So in the middle, it's going to be transparent. At the top, it's going to be solid. And at the bottom, it's going to be solid. Again, I'm telling you, I know like Bruce Jones, he's way more creative than I am. Other people are going to be way more creative. You're going to do all kinds of nice and weird and wacky things. And it's going to be so much fun. You're going to put stickers and you're going to do all kinds of stuff. All right. You're going to do that. All right. And so let me come back to my screen. I'm going to go back to my screen share. Oh my gosh. I just realized something. Hold on. I forget what I forget. I am so sorry. Hold on. I'm going to need straps. I went through all that and it wasn't even to share. What happens is when you click on a design, it opens up in a different tab. I am so sorry. All right. So let me see. I have two open here. Let me see if this one opens up to the correct one. Yes, it does. All right. So sorry. All right, my friends. So here we are. So let me go back. Let me click on this. I'm going to take it back to not transparent. All right. So here you go. So you see this? This is just a square that I elongated. I'm going to show you how to do that because, of course, I was not on the, oops. Man, this is one of my best shows ever. And what Bruce is saying, yeah, Andy hasn't changed. He still makes mistakes and doesn't care. He just doesn't care. All right, so here we go. All right, finally, I'm on the correct page. All right, so on the left, what I did was I went to Elements, clicked on Elements, created a square. By clicking on, finding the square, clicking on it, it shows up. And then this is what I did. I drag it to the left. Like I said before, there's no doubt I'm going to have to redo this show, but that's okay. And then take it up to the top. All right, and then this square, I turn a different color. Let's make this one red just to see. So now you have that middle part. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So now we have the blue part, which is solid, the upper top part, which is gray, the original gray that it comes in, and the bottom is the original gray. Now, remember, I cut and paste the top frame, and I cut it, and I copied it, and I pasted it and put it down at the bottom. That way, the top and the bottom have the same dimensions, and it looks balanced. Now, I'm going to click on the blue. You see when I click on the gray, that one's selected. Now, when I click on the blue, that one's selected. Up here, I'm going to hit transparency and take it down to 50%. Whew. Okay, now we're all caught up. Oh, man, I love my show sometimes. And you know what? I think for some reason, and I didn't even know what Bruce was on until later on, but something in there tells me Bruce is on. And when Bruce comes on, I go through all kinds of stuff like this where I forget to share my screen, or I'm sharing the wrong screen. All right, so there's that. All right, so let me go ahead and come back to my camera for 1 second. All right, so now. Yes, StreamYard. Perfect example. Go with what the flow and not care it, right? There he is. And I say this to all the people. I say, no, I have a friend. His name is Bruce. And what he says, he loves my shows because I'm a perfect example of just go on Facebook Live, talk about your products or service, and just don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about it. If you worry about when you're perfect, you're never going to go live. Okay, so StreamYard, I'm going to go ahead and show the banner again, just so you know where to go, is you're going to get StreamYard.live, get StreamYard.live, and you're going to get StreamYard. If you don't already have it. If you know somebody that needs StreamYard, tell them to go to get StreamYard.live, get StreamYard.live. That'll take them to the platform, and both they'll get a discount, and I'll get a discount on my future purchases. All right, so let's go back and share my screen again. All right, so here's the important part. So remember, the blue part I've made 50% transparent. And the top part is solid, and the bottom part is solid. Now, to you, this doesn't look transparent yet, but watch what happens. So here, you're going to go to download, and you're going to go. There's a box right here that I'm going to click, and it says transparent background. That's going to take away that white part that you saw earlier, which is called like the canvas. Canvas can be solid or it could be transparent. If you click this box, it makes the canvas become transparent. In other words, it no longer exists. It's see-through. All right. And a PNG, do you see up here? You have to make sure the PNG is selected. If for whatever reason I pick JPEG, then you see the transparent selection goes away. I have to make sure that I'm selected in PNG, which is a high quality image, and then the transparent will work. Without PNG, then you won't get a transparency. And as a matter of fact, you won't be able to click even a box that says transparent. All right, now I'm going to download, and I'm going to show you what this looks like really quick. Now, I didn't put my logo on there. You know what? Actually, let me go back and just kind of show you that just now that I'm thinking about it. Remembering what I've said, I'm going to come back to my camera. All right. A JPEG is a solid picture. So it's a picture. I mean, I don't have a picture here. So if I had a picture of something like an image, a picture of my kids or something like that, and I showed, here's my picture, would be like a JPEG in a printed form. All right. This used to be a picture that was printed, but now it's transparent. Right? You see me through it? A PNG is transparent. It's still there, like you have the whole thing, but the plastic part is the transparency. Okay. If I have it in a JPEG, now it's solid. Now you can't see through. JPEG, PNG, JPEG, PNG. All right. There's my little demonstration. All right, let's come back. All right. So now I'm going to take one more thing, and I'm going to add a logo. The reason I said that is because now I have a logo. But now what I want to do is I want to make sure that my logo is also a PNG or a PNG. All right. Oops, sorry. Just wanted to check and make sure. So here I have a logo. This logo is a PNG. Do you see how you can see the blue around it? I'm not sure if I have one of this logo that's not a PNG. So let's say this Twitter. See, that's a JPEG in that white. Now I'm going to show you something in the pro version of Canva. You go to effects. I'm not sure if it's going to work on this or not. Let's see if it works. You can remove the background. So if I click on this, it might remove that white background. Let's see if it does. So now what I'm doing is I'm changing a JPEG to a PNG by removing the background. And there it is. Look at that. It did it. So in the pro version of Canva, you can remove the background and turn it. So now all you're going to see is the bird and the red dot and the letters in LIVE. All right. See how it changes? I move it off and move it back on. All right. So very good. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to keep my logo, which is a PNG also. And I'm going to move it around until I see the red line. There it is. And now it's going to be centered on the rectangle. All right. Now I'm going to download. I'm going to click the box that says transparent background. I'm going to download. And I'm not sure if you can see all this happening, but I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to put transparent test. All right. I'm saving it to the desktop just for my version. So now I'm going to go to StreamYard. And in StreamYard, which you can't see right now, and if I try to show you, it's gonna look really weird. But there's an area that is called overlays. So in the overlay, I'm going to click the plus sign, which I know you can't see. I know that. I'm going to find my transparency that I just created because it's called transparent test. I'm going to upload it, and then once it's uploaded, I'm going to show you what it looks like, and hopefully it worked. The way my show is going today, who knows? All right, here we go. So there I am. So they see the transparency, that blue. Yeah, I have like a blue hue. My logo is a transparency right there. Up on top is solid. So when my hand goes up, you see it disappears now because the top part is solid. And now the bottom part is solid. Here I have the black print that becomes very clear. And that's the URL that I want you to go to when you see my show. So that's a little bit of an advanced thing. And again, I would use this at the beginning of a show prior to talking, and it's to let people know. So here's what I used in case you're just joining. And this is starting soon. And again, I could be talking to my kids. Hey, kids, shut up. I'm getting ready to go live. Hey, close your computer. Get off the internet. You're making my internet drag, right? And I'm yelling at my kids as I normally do before the show starts. I said, quiet on the set, right? You're getting to see all that back office stuff, or the back show part, the stuff that you don't want people to see, but it's fun. People are seeing it, and you're having a good time, and they're waiting for the show to start. They can see down here comments of like, share, comment, subscribe, right? And that's one way that it looked. I tried this with the blue letters to see what that looked like. You could barely see it. If you're on a phone, you probably wouldn't be able to see that. And then I have one without anything. And then I made the red and the red on top and the red on bottom transparent. So those are the different things that I use. And you can mess around and try different stuff and see what works for you, and then get rid of it and then start your show. All right, that's the one thing. All right, now let's get the backgrounds. Man, I'm way behind on this schedule. So it took me 25 minutes to tell you something that should have taken 10 minutes. But it's because I was demonstrating without anything. All right, so now the next thing is you have backgrounds. All right, remember that when I showed you this, when I put up another camera, which is, there we go. You can have them both the same size, and that way you don't need to see the background. In the middle here, right here, in the middle, if there's something like, if I change that, you'll see that there's a little bit of space there. Let's change it to something blue. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that the blue, I can see it on my end, but you may not see it on yours. Yeah, if you had something white, you'd be able to see something, or if I had something printed, let's do this one. So, you see right down here, oops. See right there, see that yellow part? That's from the print on a background I have. If I were to take away, if I were to do this, now you can see the background. You see that? So again, when we're talking about professionalism, you may want to have black. So now you see nothing showing through. If I were to go back here, now you see it's just black. But here's one more thing you can do. If you want something to show up in your background, like your image or something like that, you can do something like this. So do you see at the top? Right there is my logo. That's on the background. And then down here is me. And then the URL the URL that I want to show through. If I were to make my pictures big again, it would cover up the background. If I make them small again, it cover up the background. All right, so where does this change? Where may I not want to have this thing? This is where this advanced part comes in. If I have a third camera, And now you see how part of that URL is blocked. And that may irritate some people. There are people that are perfectionists and they're watching your show and go, God, I wish you wouldn't do that, because now we can't see what that URL says. And that's really unprofessional. And I really don't like the way that looks. Well, you may want to do something that moves the cameras around or something like that until it shows. But now you see what happens. My head's cut off in that image. All right, so what are some of the things you can do is that beforehand, you can make sure that you have the right backgrounds that you want for this type of show you're going to have. So if I was to do something like this, now with a picture down at the bottom, which that camera is coming from my other computer, where it's down at the bottom down there, now both the images on both sides show up. The image of me, my logo, and then that round circle thing that I made, and then a little bit of a triangle with my URL. So you really got to know. I'm going to come back to my image here. So what I'm essentially telling you is that when you're choosing to have a background design, you want to make sure that you know how your show is going to go. Is this a two-person guest situation? And then if so, then you're going to want to make sure and use the one background that works mostly and almost every time with a two-guest shot, where when you pull them forward, it covers everything, but when you pull them back, it exposes the background, and you want to make sure you have stuff that looks in balance and people aren't going to be irritated because you're blocking something and it looks unprofessional. Do you see what I'm saying? In a show like something on NBC or CBS or something like that, they would always make sure that whatever their shot is, it always shows the background or the overlay or the frame or what have you in a way that looks professional and nothing's getting cut off. As you begin to become more professional in your show, again, unlike me, is that you will make fewer of those mistakes, and you're going to create a background that's going to fit based on the shot you're going to have. So if I know I'm going to have a three-person shot, I'm going to make sure and have that image up, that the background up, that allows for the best possibility for the background to show in a professional manner. All right. If I know I'm going to have a two-person shot, I'm going to change my background. And now when I have a two-person shot, it's a lot more professional, because now the image over here on your left, I think it is, my right, is in a place where you can actually see it, and the URL actually shows up. At the top is my logo. It's not getting cut off by any of the shots. Does that make sense? All right, so just really quick, I'm going to try this one more time. I'm going to go back to this thing here, and I'm going to delete everything as I am going to show you here. Oops. Here we go. There. Oh my gosh. All right. So now I'm going to delete everything. Bam, 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 bam. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to drag in. If I want to keep things branded to certain colors and don't want to have to go through the hex codes and all that kind of stuff, one of the things you can do in Canva, and I think it's in both the basic version and the pro version, I'm not sure, that if I were to drag in, let's say I want to drag in a logo, or if I'm going to use a logo, or again, I want to keep things branded, what you want to do is you want to drag in a logo, whether you're going to use it or not. All right, bring it in there. And now when I click on the background, watch what happens. It's going to give me over here on the left, can you see photo colors? It gives me the colors that are found in that photo. All right. And including the black, which is the framing of the red part or the outline of the print. All right. So I chose one of these colors to stay in my brand. And now you can see that. So now what I can do, I can either continue to use that logo. And again, this is all up to you. I'm just showing you a little trick that if you want to do this, so you're staying branded. Now I move it up here to the top, and now you may not get it right the first time. Just understand you can always change things. And let's say I want to add that triangle. What I did is I added this triangle. Hello. There you go. And now I click on it. Now watch what happens again. I go over here, and now I want it to be the red that's in the lines there. I just click on the red that's in the photo colors, and it's branded to my logo. Do you see that? And now let's say I just want to make it kind of look kind of cool, and I tilt it, and I bring it off here over the right, and that's how I got that look over there. And again, you can kind of just mess with it a little bit and get what you want or what you're looking for. You can do that. And that's just to add like a little bit of a flair. All right, now let's go with the circle. There's the circle. Now what do? I go to the red dot or the red square up here. I find the blue that I liked. And now I move that off to the left and move it halfway off. No, a little bit less than halfway off. Make it a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. And now I want to add another circle. I'm just showing you what I did. Again, you guys are going to be way more creative than me. And then I bring it down here. All right, and then bring this down. And now I make it look like that. And now if I want to, I can move the logo over there. I can do all kinds of stuff. I can move it around. All right, if I want to bring in my picture of me, for whatever reason, if you're going to not photos, I'm so sorry, uploads again. And where is that? Oh, let me show you something. Here's me as a police officer. Let's see what happens on this one. So that's when I worked for Anaheim Police Department. So if I go to effects and remove background, let's see if it removes a background. This is gonna be a hard one. I wonder if it's gonna work. Removes the background. Just waiting. Nice. All right, now I can make this smaller, and I can put myself right over here in the thing. There we go. Now you don't have to do a PNG. You don't have to, but you can because it's a high quality. But you don't want to have to do transparent. Now you could go JPEG, you can go PDF, you can go SV, but you're not. What you're going to either use for a background image is PNG or JPEG. So I'm going to keep it on PNG. I'm going to download, and I hope all this is so. I hope I didn't do it again. Oh, good. I'm going to save it to test background. There we go. And save it. All right, and then come back to my camera here. There we go. And let me go to the background. I hope this is helpful to you guys. Sometimes you never know how these things are going to go. Test background. There it is. Test background. And now I'm going to bring up this camera and make it go like this. There we go. All right, here's the test background. Well, there I am. There I am in the police uniform. If I want to, let's see, which camera am I missing? I'm missing. Oh, I know what's happening here. Let me go ahead and take that down. There we go. And so see, now my head's getting cut off. So what I would do is go back into Canva, and if I do want to use it for the shot, then I would just shrink my picture of me down a little bit. But if I do that shot, then it shows up perfectly. And then over there on the red triangle on the left-hand side, if I want to put the URL or something like that, I could put it there. I could put another image. I could put the logo for the URL for the broadcast and all that kind of stuff. So that's how you do all of that. Woo! Now that was fun. There's nothing more fun than messing around and not you seeing any and you not seeing anything that I'm doing. All right, so there you go. So you have this kind of new transparent overlay, which I really kind of like. I've seen it on a couple people's podcasts. That again, if I'm going to have it up there and using it, you know, as an opener, as I'm waiting for people to join, understand when you're going live on StreamYard, when you go live on any platform, be live, whatever, what's happening is that you hit the live button and then it asks you again to hit the live button. So you hit the live button to confirm that you want to go live. What's happening is that the social media platforms are receiving the signal from StreamYard that you're about to go live. Now, they all don't go live at the same time. Some go live, immediately. Some take a couple seconds, and I'm not talking forever. I'm just talking a couple seconds. And so sometimes, in my pet peeve, I tell you, don't sit there and say, I'm going to wait for people to join, because that's really irritating to the person watching. I think it's really irritating. It's just me. It's irritating to me. But what you can do while all that is happening, instead of doing that, is do something interesting that kind of just causes their brain to kind of go, wait a minute, I'm not used to seeing this. And it's called a interrupt, a brain interrupt, or there's other names for it. But what you're doing is interrupting their brain to keep them engaged so they don't leave. Because you only have a couple seconds to get people's interest. If I were to go live right now, so let's just say I go from let's bring them all. Hi, this is Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California. Right? People are going to some of them aren't going to come on until I get all the way into the spiel, right? Or if I do this. Hello? Gosh, nobody's joining. Oh, there's somebody. Okay, I'm going to wait a couple minutes. Tim Miller. We're going to wait for more people to join. Oh, Bruce Jones is on. Hey, Bruce. Do you see how boring that is? That really sucks. So don't do that. So now I'm going to start a show like you might want to try to show it. This is kind of an extended version of waiting for people to join. And again, what you're doing is you're disrupting their thought process and keep like, what's going on here? I've never seen anything like this. Wait, well, what's that counter going on? Oh, what's that? It's got music going on. And what you're doing is changing the frame without getting into your content. Now, some people can start right away, in which I've done, where I start and I get right into the content. As people are joining, as people are seeing their phones, my phone, I'm using it as a camera. As people are seeing, like, they're sitting there and they're like, they're at work. People at work and I'm getting paid by the hour, right? And all of a sudden their phone goes, bzz, and they go, oh, Andy's on live. I wonder what he's doing. Let's see. Where's my headphones? And they're looking for their headphone, right? And they're getting for their headphones, and they. Hey, all right, I got my headphones on. This is my daughter's hair tie, right? And you see how much is going on before they actually see your broadcast. So instead of being boring to the people that did join and are sitting there watching you and you're going, let's wait and let's check. Hello, is this thing working? Instead of doing that, you're going to do this. Are you ready? So this is what's going to happen. So I'm going to try this for a little while. So now let's pretend at the moment you see this overlay go up, that is when you join, and you're going to keep in mind when now we're still waiting for other people to join that are getting their headphones and putting their work down, or they're driving and trying to wait for the next red light to approach before they actually go on live. And you can see there's a lot happening depending on who you are and what's going on. And to the person who's broadcasting, you want to have the best bang for your buck when everybody's watching to keep them on. All right. So let's just say that this happened. So I'm going to, as soon as I throw this overlay up, we're going to start like 3 or 4 seconds. All right. Again, only a few seconds. I'm not telling you to leave it up for minutes, only 3 or 4 seconds. All right, kids, we're getting ready to go live. Get ready to go live. This is gonna be a good show. This is gonna be a good show, buddy. I'm acting right now. All right, here we go. I couldn't complete it. I could not complete the thing. I was, hello, my friends. This is Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California. That's what it should have been. Oh, I didn't have my camera up. I completely ruined it. Oh, I went through all that for nothing. But you guys are going to be perfect. I'm showing you what not to do. This is really what this video is all about. The title of this video, do not do what Andy does. Wow, man, I almost had it all. Thank you, Bruce. Dang it, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm doing it one more time, and I'm going to have it all correct. Are you ready? This is why you practice. Pattern interrupt. That's what I'm talking about. Pattern interrupt. Thank you, Charmaine. I know that I can write this stuff down. I've only known about pattern interrupt since I was listening to, what's his name? Not Tony Robbins, but there's another guy, Andy Jenkins. And who else? Mike Filsame, a couple others. Even before that, I heard about pattern interrupt. That I think mostly, but Andy Jenkins and Mike Filsame and all their training, they talk about pattern interrupt. You got to get people's patterns that be interrupted, or else they'll stay checked. But that's the word I'm looking for. I don't want people. I don't wait for people. I just start on my scheduled time. They can watch the replay or whatever. Yep, you can do that too. And that's what I tell people too. You watch the replay. If you missed the beginning of the show and you were late, that's your fault. Come back and watch the replay. And Frank Kern, yes, that was the other one I was thinking about. That was actually probably the first person I heard it from. And then Andy Jenkins, and they were all the same. They were all in the same groups, right? And they all said much the same stuff. Charmaine actually was the first one, that, according to my list here. Charmaine said Frank Kern right away. All right, I'm doing it again, and I'm going to show you actually what it's supposed to look like. What is the best way to contact me? Right now, the best way is on Facebook, I tell you. You're going to go to Andy Falco Jimenez on my Facebook page and send me a message. If you're not on Facebook, which some people aren't right now, you may want to go to Andy Falco Jimenez at gmail.com. I don't think I have that written down anywhere. Andy Falco Jimenez at gmail.com. So my name down there at the bottom, and then just add at gmail.com and send me an email. Cryptic Nation was asking me that. Cryptic Nation. All right. Any perfect example would go with the flow. Just get on Facebook. Oh, there we go. We already read that one. All right. What else? More Frank Kearns. Good. All right. I'm doing it one more time. That's it. I'm doing the whole thing perfectly this time. What I've done here, which is throwing me off, which it's easy. Obviously, it's easy to throw me off. Is that I've added that component of the overlay, and I can also hear myself in my phone. I did plug in something to keep it from being able to be heard. I've muted it, but it doesn't matter. And so these two things are kind of throwing me off even more than normal. I make mistakes anyway. I'm just telling you that it's a little bit more distracting than normal. All right, so let me go ahead. I'm going to take everything down, take my frames down. Now, you guys don't have to stick around, but I'm just practicing now. So if you want to see what I mean to do, now I got to come up with new stuff to say at the beginning here. All right, at the moment that my overlay comes up this time, now again, this is sometimes and this is important. This is one thing I talk about in the basic training program, and that is to practice. Right, you can never, in StreamYard, you can do an entire show and not go live. You can click all the buttons, you can do everything in the dashboard. You can use all the tools and not be live. You can actually record a practice and not go live. So you can record your show and not go live in StreamYard, and then watch yourself doing stuff and see where you're slacking and where you need to be closer to the mic, maybe, or maybe you're turning your head and the mic's back here and people aren't able to hear you, and you'll be able to catch all kinds of things like that. How many times you say how many times you smack your lips. That's my big issue quite often. And I say and I what else was I doing? There was some other stuff I was doing. Ending my sentences in right. Like, that drives me crazy when I hear other people doing it, and then I found myself doing the same thing. So record it without going live and run through all the bells and whistles, that kind of stuff. What I'm doing right now is I'm doing it live and practicing in front of you. So we're going to do this thing in its entirety, but we're going to do it just one more time. It just takes time to get smooth, but it does come. It just takes time. On occasion, I do some really smooth shows. On occasion, but sometimes this kind of thing happens from time to time, where I add a new twist and it throws me completely off. All right, here we go. At the moment that we see the overlay, we're going to go through the sequence of events that's going to happen. All right, kids, we're going to be going live. Thanks for being so good. If we can just shut everything down, that way I can get some good signal here. It'll be awesome. Oh man, this is going to be a good show. All right, here we go. Hello, my friends. Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California, getting ready to talk about advanced overlays and backgrounds. This is going to be a great show, so thanks for joining. What you're going to want to do is go to repurposevideo.com repurposevideonow.com if you want to repurpose your videos. It's a great platform. It's called Repurpose is the name of the program. But if you want to repurpose your videos, go there. That's one of my sponsors. My other sponsor is onlinegurudeal.com. That gets you in Kajabi. Kajabi allows you to reuse some of your live programs if you want to into a training program. It's fantastic. Much like this video that I'm not going to use as a training video in Kajabi. I'm going to do it right when I put it in Kajabi. The other platform is StreamYard. That's what I'm using now to go live. And you're going to go to getstreamyard.live. Go to Get StreamYard Live for the best live broadcasting platform that's available right now. I believe that's true. I've used them all. Well, at least probably most of them. There's probably some I haven't used, but I'm telling you, StreamYard is one of my favorites, if not my favorite platform for going live. And the last thing, I got my training program. It's called andyislive.com is the URL you're going to use, but it's to teach you how to go live using StreamYard, how to create a live TV show using StreamYard. It's a basic, intermediate, advanced program that will take you through the training that you need to know about lighting, background, show flow, frames, background, transparent overlays that we're talking about today, and many, many more things. All right. So let's get started. A much better start of that show. That's the way it's supposed to go. All right, my friends. That's how I did it, or that's how I plan on doing it. And then here's one of my other sponsors. You can create, ooh, what happened to that one? Oh, there it is. And that is one of my other sponsors that you can create a lower third. And you can use overlays for demonstrations. There's a difference between Zoom and StreamYard. You got your Zoom, which is, hey, there's Bruce, and the top Bruce. And so that is what it looks like in Zoom. But when you look at StreamYard, when you're able to do backgrounds, that kind of stuff, that looks much, much better in my belief. All right, so that's it. I hope this was helpful. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye, Bruce. I appreciate you coming on. Charmaine. Yeah, that's another one. So some people start with the word or the two words, I mean, with their sentence. I mean, we could, but I mean, you could do this. I mean, that drives me crazy too. And so by going live, by recording your broadcast before you go live, you can begin to work on getting some of those things out of your system. All right. So that was it. I finally did it right there at the beginning with the new little thing that I added to get started. All right, my friends, I hope this has been helpful. It's been fun. And thanks again for joining me. And, just stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a few more of these. I got a couple things I need to tell you about. And one of them is how to transcribe your replay so you can reuse it in blogs and posts and even to write a book, which is Bruce Jones's specialty. All right, my friends, I love you guys very much, and have a great day. And again, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. All right, bye.